How is it going to return to my All Elite Wrestling All Out pay-per-view review? Of course, AEW All Out aired live on pay-per-views past Saturday. Unfortunately, I was not able to watch this show live, which is why this review is a few days late. But I was able to watch the show this morning, and obviously here's my review for it. So without wasting more time, I'm just going to jump right into the video with my real thoughts on the show. I thought it was an excellent show. I think this is by far, I know this is only their 4th show, but out of the 4, I do think this is the best AEW show to date. I just thought it was very fun. I thought a lot of the matches delivered, if not over-delivered, past expectations. I thought we had a lot of great stuff on the show. There was only really one match I could say that I didn't really care for. I thought it was like whatever. But besides that, everything was good. There was a lot of great stuff on the show. Just a very easy show to sit through as well. It was almost 4 hours, but it was very easy to sit through. Each match kind of flew by. And yeah, this definitely was a great, way to hook people in going into their TNT premiere in October. So yeah, I thought it was a great show from AEW. I know it's kind of getting a little mixed reviews. Some people didn't like it as much. Some people loved it, and people just thought it was, a good show. But personally, like I said, I thought I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was a great show. The best AEW show to date so far, in my opinion. And yeah, definitely 2 thumbs up from me to AEW. Of course, before we go to the main show, we did have the buy-in, which was an hour prior to the actual pay-per-view itself, which featured 2 matches on it. Of course, we did have the 21-woman casino battle royale. Of course, the winner would qualify to the for the AEW Women's World Championship match on the TNT premiere in October. You had some surprise entrances, including Tenille Dashwood, Teal Piper, who is Roddy Piper's daughter. ODB was in it. Jazz, obviously she was announced for it, and then Mercedes Martinez ended up being the Joker at the end. This was a fine battle royal. Wasn't really much to it. Nyla Rose pretty much was a showcase person in this match. She was very dominant. I think she eliminated 10 people out of 21. So, this match is solely for her. And, she started at the very beginning of the match, and she went all the way to the end. Leva Bates, she tried to do like a Kofi thing where she tried to avoid elimination. Peter Avalon put books on the ground for her to walk around so she wouldn't be eliminated. And of course, she ended up being eliminated anyways. Nyla Rose, like I said, was complete, beast in this match. She was just terrible as always. She no-sold for Sadie Gibbs for absolutely no reason, and I don't know. I don't know why they signed her. Honestly, she's terrible. But her, Britt Baker, and Nyla Rose ended up being the last 3. Nyla Rose ended up doing a cartwheel kick on both of them on the apron, which is super impressive. Britt Baker ended up limiting B, and then B ended up holding her arm, which led to Nyla Rose eliminating her. So Nyla Rose did win the Battle Royal. She will be part of the AEW Women's World Championship match on the first ever AEW on TNT episode. So it was a fine Battle Royal. It wasn't as good as the men's one from Double or Nothing, but still, it had some sloppy moments, and the camera work wasn't the greatest at times as well, but it was fine. It was fine. And then the second match we had was Private Party taking on Jack Evans and Angélico. This was a very fun match here. It was a straight sprint. Great showcase for Private Party. That's exactly what this match needed to be. A showcase for those 2 men. And they looked absolutely awesome. The crowd absolutely loved every second of them. Isaiah Cassidy at one point had a great hot tag where he just went absolutely ape shit on both Evans and Angélico, moonsault and whatnot. He looked absolutely awesome. And then, Mark Quinn hit a beautiful 450 splash where he was like in the air for like 15 seconds. To see him, like, that dude had amazing hang time. And then they did some hurricanes on the outside to take out Angélico, Jack Evans, and then they ended up hitting a Rana, a reverse Rana off the second rope on Jack Evans, which was followed by regular Rana, which was followed by the Gin and Juice finisher from Private Party for the 1-2-3. So Private Party defeats Angélico and Jack Evans. Like I said, very good match here. It was a sprint, but it was very fun, and it was a great showcase for Private Party. And of course, afterwards, Angélico and Jack Evans, they attacked Private Party afterwards because they lost. So I guess that'll probably lead to some match on at an upcoming TNT episode. So yeah, that was very good. Good stuff in the buy-in. Definitely would recommend checking both. Well, I'd recommend checking the tag team match, the Battle Royal, not so much. But yeah, that was definitely good stuff in the buy-in. Then of course, to go to the main show, which opened up with the 6-man tag team match with SCU taking on Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and Marco Stunt. This was a great opening match here, non-stop fun from all 6 competitors in this matchup. Right from the very beginning, Lucha Boy, or not Lucha. Lucha Boy, I apologize. Jungle Boy. See, I'm getting all excited, sometimes when I get excited about talking about a show I really enjoyed, I kind of stutter and kind of mess up, so I do apologize. I'm just, getting really excited talking about it. But Jungle Boy, Kazarian had a great exchange at the beginning, which led to SCU getting the upper hand. They were pretty dominant on Jungle Boy, which led to Jungle Boy getting a hot tag to Luchasaurus, hit a dive on the outside, tagged in Marco Stunt, which SCU were very quickly able to dominate Marco Stunt, and then Luchasaurus got another tag, which he absolutely was on fire, man. He took out every member of SCU. He, knocked out Daniels with a kick, took out Kaz right after, then, or Scorpio Sky, then Kaz right after the moonsault. That dude's so much fun to watch, and he definitely needs to be a future world champion. Absolutely awesome. And then SCU got the upper hand. They end up taking out Luchasaurus. Kaz ended up hitting a Hurricanrana on him to the outside, which led to him hitting a spear on both Marco Stunt and Jungle Boy. They were both tossed back in the ring, and then they ended up hitting the best Meltzer driver ever on both Marco Stunt and Jungle Boy for the 1-2-3. So SCU gets the victory over Jurassic Express. Like I said, great opening match, very fast paced and a lot of high flying action as well. Great stuff. And then from there, I'm going to go to Kenny Omega taking it on Pac, which, of course, the match originally was supposed to be Kenny Omega taking on Jon Moxley, but, of course, he was injured, could not compete, and he was replaced with Pac. And I've been waiting for this match ever since Pac officially left WWE last year, and I'm very glad we got it because this match, in my opinion, was fucking awesome. Second best match in the show, in my opinion. These two went out there and had a hellacious match. I loved absolutely every second of it. I thought the finish was excellent. I fucking loved this match. One of my favorites in AEW by far. Right from the get-go, they trade exchanges, which led to, being dumped into the outside. Pac was able to counter a powerbomb to the apron, ended up slamming Omega onto the apron, threw him into the barricade, so he was kind of working on his back at that point. Omega got the upper hand. He dumped Pac to the outside, did a dive in which he just slammed his ankle into the barricade and landed, which looked really nasty. The barricades were way too close to the ring, by the way. So Omega throws him back in the ring, hits a nasty missile dropkick to the back of Pac's head. You would have thought Pac's head just ripped off. It just, I don't know, my neck and head were hurting after I saw that. Pac, had a little comeback. Hit a moonsault, but Omega actually caught him. So it looked like Omega was going to counter it, but Pac countered his counter into a tornado DDT, which was absolutely great. Back to the outside, Omega rolled to the outside, which Pac ended up hitting another moonsault, but when Pac landed, he ended up nailing his shin into the barricade. So, man, dives on the outside are just dangerous on the show. I don't know why anyone would do it, but you know what? Pac throws Omega back in the ring, follows up with a 450, great near fall right there. Omega then hits his beautiful, Sparta kick on Pac, man. And he flew into the turnbuckles and bounced off it. It was an awesome bump and awesome spot right there. And then Omega picked him up, hit a buckle bomb, and then hit a few V-triggers, which one V-trigger, he ran the ropes, twice and just fucking ripped off his head with the V-trigger. I swear to God. So that was beautiful. Then the finish, which I absolutely fucking loved, was Omega going for the one-winged angel, but Pac countered it into the brutalizer, and just the way Omega slumped over and eventually fell into a pinning position, but the referee didn't count the pin because at that point he saw Omega was passed out, rings to the bell, and Pac is your winner. He beats Omega via referee stoppage, which at first, because I didn't watch the show live, like I said, I saw that he won via submission, so I thought Omega tapped, but the way the finish played off was beautiful. Protects Omega in a way because he didn't tap or anything, he just passed out, and even if the referee would have counted the pin right there, I think it would have worked either way too. But yeah, that was a tremendous finish. It gives Pac a big win, considering the events that happened of him being pulled out of Double or Nothing back in May. And yeah, just a tremendous match. Would love to see more of these two in the future, with maybe Omega either getting the win or even Pac beating him again. I don't know, but it's interesting. Omega keeps losing his big matches, so maybe it'll lead to a redemption storyline at some point. Who knows? But yeah, that was just a tremendous match. Loved every second of it. Like I said, second best match in the card if you ask me. And speaking of crazy matches, we go to the Crackle Barrel clash between Darby Allin, Joey Janela, and of course Jimmy Havoc. This match was fucking crazy. The bumps these fools were taking immediately from the get-go were just insane. Jimmy Havoc stapled himself, and then Janela and Darby Allin teamed on him. They ended up taping him to a chair. They put tacks in his mouth, and then Darby Allin ended up pinning a dive to the outside and took him out. Just absolutely crazy. Then of course Janela turned to Darby Allin, hit a tombstone on the apron, which looked like he absolutely had killed him at that point. And then Joey Janela at one point as well ended up hitting a sunset flip power bomb off the apron to the outside through a table on Darby Allin. You would have thought Darby Allin was dead after that. I don't know what that happened. Back in the ring, Darby Allin was able to use a skateboard, but his skateboard had thumbtacks on it. He hit Jimmy Havoc with it and then did like a double foot stomp on it onto the back of Joey Janela, which was just absolutely insane. And then Joey Janela takes this insane moonsault. He does a moonsault to the outside, but he absolutely eats shit because Jimmy Havoc got out of the way. The thump he made, man, when he hit the ground, I fucking cringed. That just oh man, I'm hearing it in my head right now. Just that thunk when he hit the ground off that moonsault was just, oh god, that was terrible. And then Darby Allin, I believe it was Joey Janela, he had set up on the steps, took one of the Crackle Barrels, put it behind his back, and did a back, like a backdrop onto the outside with the barrel. But Joey Janela moves and eats shit, so he lands on the steps with the barrel. My god, man. Just insanity. So at that point, Darby Allin's out. Back in the ring, it's Janela and Jimmy Havoc. Jimmy Havoc ends up hitting the Acid Rainmaker onto the barrel on Joey Janela for the 1-2-3. So Jimmy Havoc wins the Crackle Barrel Clash. Just absolute insanity, man. Just the bumps these fools were taking were just absolutely insane, and this is definitely a match you want to see Carnage. Definitely check this one out. Just crazy stuff. So yeah, great stuff there. And then we go to the match that I wasn't too fond of. This is definitely the worst match on the show, which was the first round bye in the AEW World Tag Team Championship Tournament. The Best Friends taking on the Dark Order. Not really much to it. Best Friends took out the Dark Order at the very beginning of the match, and then Dark Order kind of resumed control. Stu Grayson hit a moonsault on the outside, which took out the Best Friends as well as the Creepers. Best Friends got the upper hand. Chuck Taylor was able to hit the awful waffle for Trent, but Trent was not able to get the cover in time. We got the cover by the time the referee was going to count for the 3. Uno pulled the referee out, so that prevented the count from happening. Dark Order took control, hit Fatality, 1-2-3, so they get a first round bye in the tag team title tournament. Like I said, really wasn't much of a match. It was fine, but it was definitely by far the worst match of the show. People just weren't into it, and it was whatever. But yeah, and then afterwards, they were beating down Best Friends, the Dark Order, and the Creepers, and then all of a sudden, lights go out, lights go back on, and Orange Cassidy's there. He helps take out the Creepers and the Dark Order, so he's with Best Friends now. I'm not a huge Orange Cassidy fan by any means. Honestly, I don't see his appeal, but he's over. It works, so good for him. But yeah, just like I said, definitely the worst match in the card. Didn't really care for it. For there we go to Riho taking on Shida. Sorry, I apologize. Of course, the winner of this match would be taking on Nyla Rose for the AEW Women's World Championship at the TNT premiere. This was a good match. At first it was kind of slow, not much going on, but it definitely started picking up and ended up becoming a very good match, actually. I thought it was really good. Shida was working on Riho pretty much the entirety of the majority of the first half of the match, throwing the turnbuckles, working on the outside. She was just, pretty much dominant over her. And then Riho ended up, having a comeback. Ended up hitting a double foot stomp onto the outside on the apron, which got the upper hand on Shida at that point. Shida ended up suplexing Riho back in the ring off the apron, which was a great spot. Riho ended up hitting double knees to the back of the head of Shida, and then the finish was great as well because there was this bunch of cradles, and then Riho does this beautiful tilt-a-whirl cradle on Shida for the 1-2-3. So Riho wins. She'll be facing Nyla Rose for the AEW Women's World Championship at the TNT premiere in October. Very good match, like I said. That was really good. So Riho, Nyla Rose, really isn't an ideal first AEW Women's World Title match in my opinion, but I think it'll be interesting, especially considering Riho's she's a small girl, and then Nyla Rose obviously is a bigger person. She's a beast. She's a native beast, and I think the style is gonna be really interesting to watch. So it'll be interesting, but like I said, not really the ideal first ever AEW Women's World Title match. But it is what it is. What can you do? And then from there we go to Cody taking on Shawn Spears. Cody comes out. He chooses MJF to be in his corner over Diamond Dallas Page and Brandy. So it's Cody with MJF versus Shawn Spears with Tully Blanchard. Right from the get-go, Cody during his entrance does a suicide dive on the outside to take out Shawn Spears. They brawl into the crowd. He fights Tully Blanchard, which allows Shawn Spears to get the upper hand on Cody. This match was good, very good actually, but it had its slow points, and there's just times where not a whole lot was happening. Shawn Spears was applying heat onto Cody, but it just really wasn't working. They, brawled more back on the outside. Shawn Spears, was whipping Cody into the barricade. At one point, Cody ended up hitting a springboard cutter onto Shawn Spears, which was surprising because you don't see Cody do that all the time. Shawn Spears hit a DVD onto Cody onto the steps on the outside, or not on the steps, on the ramp on the outside, which, anytime anyone takes anything on the ramp, man, I just cringe because the noise it makes. At one point, Cody had the win, hit the crossroads on Shawn Spears, but Tully Blanchard got involved, which led to MJF getting involved, which led to Shawn Spears taking out MJF, which led to none other than Double A Arn Anderson come running down and hits a beautiful Double A spine buster onto Shawn Spears, rolls out. That allows Tully Blanchard to leave ringside, leaving Shawn Spears by himself with Cody. Cody has a chair, threatens to hit Shawn Spears. He fakes doing it, throws the chair at Shawn Spears. He catches it. Cody hits his disaster kick, hits another crossroads, and 1, 2, 3. Cody defeats Shawn Spears. Like I said, very good match. It wasn't great by any means, but I don't know. I think Cody winning was kind of questionable unless he's challenging for the AEW World Title in the future, like pretty much either like at the next pay-per-view or at a TV taping coming soon. I don't see what sense it made for him to win. Definitely, in my opinion, Shawn Spears could have used that win more than Cody, but we'll see how it all plays out in the future. But yeah, very good match overall. And then we go to Escalera de la Muerte for the AAA World Tag Team titles. The Lucha Bros taking on the Young Bucks. This match was fucking insane. I cannot describe to you the brutality, the spots, just the craziness this match ensued. If you blinked, you missed something. Like, it was a sprint, and it was a destructive sprint because they were doing crazy spots like no other. The dives, just the bumps. It was just insanity. This is a match you have to check out. This is definitely the best Lucha Brothers and Young Bucks match that I've seen. This is the best match in AEW so far. I'd say this match beats the Young Bucks and Lucha Bros from Double or Nothing. I think this was a better match. This is man. You have to see it. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. If you're seeing anything on the show, this is definitely the match to see. Just absolutely amazing. Right from the get-go, Phoenix does a great dive over the ladder onto the outside. Then it was Matt and Penta did in-stereo spears through off the apron, pretty much the Big E spear, through the table onto Phoenix and Nick Jackson. So I love that there's a lot of in-stereo things. They're both doing the same thing because they know each other so well that they're able to know what each other's thinking or whatnot. They also did that at another point, I believe, with cutters. They both did in-stereo cutters to the opposing team members. So just a great storytelling in this match. There was a springboard at the outside by Nick Jackson. He did a tilt-a-whirl springboard at the outside, which was absolutely beautiful. Phoenix did a springboard when he got knocked the ladder, ended up taking out I forgot which Young Buck was on the outside. We ended up taking them out, as well as Penta, because they were both on the outside. And then Matt Jackson just absolutely gets destroyed with a destroyer by Phoenix. He does one through the ropes, hits a destroyer on Matt Jackson, and as he's climbing a ladder, Penta hits a destroyer of his own off a ladder through a table. Just absolutely insane. And then Nick Jackson at one point eats shit when he gets knocked off the ladder because his foot ends up hitting the bottom rope. So he ends up going through one table, not two of them, and it looked very bad the way his foot ricocheted out that rope. So thankfully it was okay. But he'd be taken out after that. He was placed on a table, got splashed through it by, I believe, Phoenix through a table. So at that point, Nick Jackson was out of the match. Nick Jackson was in the ring with Penta. They're both climbing the ladder. Nick Jackson rips his mask off, and you think he's gonna win. And then Phoenix did a springboard. He did a super kick, and then fucking Penta just pushes the ladder like he doesn't give a shit. He just shoves it and walks away, covering his face. And Matt Jackson falls between the ladder. Fucking man, that was like a receipt for taking his mask off. I mean, obviously his plan was like, if you didn't know better, you would have thought like that wasn't planned, and he was legit pissed the way he pushed the ladder and the way it landed. Absolutely crazy. And then they ended up killing Matt pretty much when Penta hits a assisted dropkick package pile driver onto a ladder. Then of course Lucha Bros back in the ring, retain the AAA World Tag Team titles. Like I said, this match was just absolutely insane. The bumps were crazy, and this was definitely a great blow off to this feud in AEW. So hats off to all four competitors. They kill each other for our entertainment. So tremendous match there. Then of course afterwards, Lucha Bros were attacked by 2 masked men, and then of course where the Young Bucks were attacked, and it was revealed that Santana and Ortiz, formerly known as LAX and Impact, are officially All Elite. So they're now in AEW. Definitely adds to the already stacked tag division AEW has. So I haven't seen much of them, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm always hearing great things about them, so I'm very excited to see how they fare in AEW. So yeah, like I said, just adds to an already stacked tag team division. They announced the next pay-per-view, which will be AEW Full Gear, which if you watch Being Elite, of course, is a joke with Hangman Paige and whatnot being Full Gear. So yeah, that's happening November 9th. So it's good to know a pay-per-view. They're having another pay-per-view this year, before the year ends at least. So I'm interested. I'm excited for that. And of course, go to the main event, which was the crowning of the inaugural AEW World Champion Hangman Adam Page, who came out on a fucking horse. He's got the horses in the back. Don't know why I said that, but yeah, it came out on an actual horse, which was awesome. And of course, he was taking on Chris Jericho. Winner again, like I said, becomes the inaugural All Elite Wrestling World Champion. On paper, this was kind of a letdown as the first ever AEW World Title match, in my opinion. But I'll tell you, once that match started, it had that big match feel to it. It had that big World Title match feel to it, and I loved every second of it. I thought it was a great match between Hangman Page and Chris Jericho. It was kind of slow, but the story they're telling, especially with Jericho when his eye got busted open, I thought it was great. Right from the get-go, they were just locking up. There really wasn't much to it. Jericho got dumped to the outside, and then Hangman Page goes for his signature, shoulder block moonsault. But when he does it, Jericho catches him into a gut buster. Fantastic counter. Love that spot. Jericho was attacking the arm of Adam Page in front of his family and his wife, in front of his parents and his wife. So, I thought that was great heat for Jericho, just working on that arm. Was telling a good story. Page had to come back, ended up hitting a discus elbow on Jericho, cuts his eye wide open. Blood's pouring down his face. Excuse me. Which would intervene in the match because, they were playing out that the blood was in his face so he couldn't really see, which was allowing Paige to get the upper hand on Jericho, hit a neck breaker off the top rope on Jericho for a great near fall, and then Paige ended up hitting the buckshot lariat followed by the dead eye for a great near fall. Everyone right there thought Hangman Page for sure won the match, but Jericho kicked out of the dead eye, which was the first time it was kicked out of AEW, and I think period. I don't recall anyone ever really kicking out of it unless it's a match I haven't seen, but as far as I know, Jericho was the first person to kick out of it. Jericho had a little bit of comeback, locked him into the walls of Jericho, and then, of course, kind of transitioned more into the Lion Tamer, so that was great. And then a great counter of the buckshot lariat into the code breaker for a great near fall. Everyone thought Jericho had it there, but Hangman Page was able to kick out of it. Page got the upper hand once again, was able to hit the buckshot lariat once again, and then he tried to set up for the Deadeye one more time, but Jericho was able to counter it into the Judas effect. 1, 2, 3, Chris Jericho is your first ever AEW World Champion. At first I was kind of mad because I didn't think Jericho should have been the first champion. AEW to me is representing, pushing unknown talent. It's about making stars, not relying on the past and, trying to be fresh. And to me, for them to kind of rely on an older talent like Jericho, nothing against Jericho, he's a legend. I'm not saying that it was dumb of them to do it. I completely get why. But I feel like if you're trying to establish yourself, I know you want a credible first world champion, but I feel like you had an opportunity to make a star. But then again, Hangman Page to me is a guy where I'd rather see him on the chase. I don't want to see him at the championship right away. I'd rather see him chase after it and then eventually win it, so it's a big payoff. So I'm not mad at it, anymore. It was like more of an instinctual, like, oh fuck, they really gave it to him. But now I'm fine with it. I think Jericho was the right decision now that I think about it. But I'm more interested to see who he faces. I think Cody being the first challenger makes sense considering he beat Shawn Spears. I think it makes sense for Jericho and Cody to be maybe the first program for Jericho to face, or at least the first title defense. I'm not sure about first program, maybe the first pay-per-view, but I don't think he's gonna face Omega, so I think Cody's the next best face he can face for the World Championship in the future. So yeah, Jericho is the first ever AEW World Champion, and great match with Hangman Page. Honestly, I think I enjoyed that match more than his match with Omega at Double or Nothing. Honestly, so yeah, that was All Elite Wrestling All Out. Like I said, I thought it was a fantastic show, the best all AEW show to date so far. Like I said, even though it's the fourth one, it's definitely my favorite of the four so far. Like I said, that was a lot of fun. We had a lot of great matches, had some great moments as well, and just a very enjoyable wrestling show. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please feel free to leave a like below. Of course, until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys for watching the video.